All right, guys. I was going to go over and talk to you guys a little bit about the first unit, which is religions. Religions around the world. There are hundreds of religions, if not thousands. Some being monotheistic, some being polytheistic. But the key difference is going to be things like region, where you're at, and who you've been around, your culture, your experiences. Religion's different for everyone. For example, I can be a Christian, and the Christian standing right beside me can be completely different. It's based on experiences and points of view. But religions as a whole do agree on fundamental core things. So let's go over the three monotheistic religions with you really quick. So monotheistic religions are those that have one God. When you see mono, you think of one. The root word mono is one. Theistic, the regular word there, or part of the word there, just means religion. Think of the word or the term mano y mano, which is Spanish for hand to hand. That's MANO, not MONO, but it's close enough for you to remember one on one or hand to hand. Monotheistic is one God. On the other hand, we have polytheistic. Think of the word like polygamy. That is meaning multi. Polygons in geometry. That is a multi-pointed shape. That's definitely not my discipline, so I might have worded that bad. But monotheistic is one God. Polytheistic is two or more. That could be to hundreds. For Hindus, there's hundreds. And we even have in this situation in this class of our 5 main religions in world history that we're starting out with, we even have Buddhism, which is an outlier. They don't have a God at all. So they are more of a moral obligation, okay? Or more of a philosophical religion, kind of like Confucianism. All right, let's talk about Judaism. All 3 of the monotheistic religions are Abrahamic. They were founded by the prophet Abraham. Okay, Abraham is going to be the guy that is going to get the religion moving forward. And all 3 monotheistic religions agree on Abraham. They all 3 agree on the a lot of ideas from the Old Testament. You can find in the Quran, you can find in the Old Testament of the Christians and the Jews that there was a great flood. They all agree on things. The only disagreement is where does Jesus lie in this religion, okay? So their points of view differ on Jesus or the prophet, okay? So Judaism is a monotheistic religion, as I said. Their main idea is in the Old Testament. For them, they call the Old Testament the Torah. And Torah just translates from Hebrew to scroll, okay? It's like the Dead Sea Scrolls or just a scroll you open up. They believe you should read it in Hebrew. And their main law or idea is that of the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery or lie against their neighbor or have no God before me. The same 10 Commandments that we agree with in Christianity, okay? So that is their main points of view. The Torah is the written records and beliefs of the Jews. That is the Jews. There's not a lot about them. In regards to our map here, let me show you on the map. Jews are located primarily in Israel today. There used to be some in Europe, but we'll talk about the Holocaust towards the end of the class. The Holocaust killed most of the Jews in Europe. Those that survived go to the United States. A lot live in New York and Los Angeles today. There's about 10 million Jews living in the United States. There's about 10 million Jews living in Israel. The only other place with some Jews, we have some that go to Britain during the Holocaust. Winston Churchill famously paid for passage from Jewish kids to get them out of the Holocaust. And we have a few in Russia and Ukraine, little numbers. I mean, a few 100,000. I mean, that doesn't sound like a little number, but it is in regards to a religion. So they're in the United States, they're a little bit of Russia, they're in Israel, they're in Ukraine, and a pinch in Britain, okay? That is where they are located. So going on to Christianity, also, well, let me take a step back. For Judaism, what is their idea of a prophet, okay? The Jews are looking for a warrior prophet. If you look at the Bible in the Old Testament, the Jews are waiting for that prophet. They've looked at their prophecy and they interpret it as a warrior. Someone that is going to give Israel power, someone that's going to give Israel the ability to live their life peacefully, okay? And they want them to be a warring clan. Of course, Jesus from our Christianity and our New Testament is definitely not that guy, right? He's very much anti-war, very much not a guy that's going to be fighting a battle. Very much a pacifist, okay? He's not the guy they wanted. So Jesus is not going to be accepted as their prophet. So turning into Christianity, that's where we disagree. Okay, we do not kill each other. We do not fight. Jews and Christians see each other as pretty much equals, and we respect each other's points of view. 1 second, let me put this on charge. For Jews and Christians, we agree on the Old Testament, okay? The only thing that differs us is the New Testament. What is the New Testament? If you think in your head, what is the New Testament? Whose testament is the New Testament? Well, that is that of the prophet of Christianity. That is Jesus Christ, okay? So Jesus is the Son of God in Christianity point of view. The Jews do not even accept him as a prophet whatsoever. Muslims will accept him as a prophet, but they accept Muhammad as the greatest prophet. They don't accept Muhammad as the Son of God either. The big thing in Christianity, and our biggest holiday, will be Easter. That's not going to be on your test or anything, but Easter is the big holiday. What is Easter to Christians? It is the resurrection day, and Jesus died on the cross for our sins, according to Christians. So it is a very moral and peaceful religion, and our big promise is if we live a good life, what is our promise? We get life after death. There is a life after death, whether it be heaven, whether it be hell. There is going to be something else for us when we die in the Christian point of view. The New Testament, like I said, is just the teachings and the principles of Jesus Christ and his disciples. And of course, it's going to be established by church doctrines, what books were in the Bible. There's all sorts of different books of the Bible, some that are not even included in the Bible. They had to decide what to put in and what not to put in, which worries some people that are maybe critiques or critics of the Christian faith. Okay, and that's like the Council of Nicaea, things like that. Christianity. If I were to ask you on a test, where's Christianity on a map, you should be able to tell me that it is located almost anywhere. You see all of North America here. Hopefully my mouse is moving. This is our trial run. This is North America, Mexico, Canada, United States. Guess what? All are Christians. Greenland, Christians. All of South America, Christians. Africa, that's more towards the middle, like Ethiopia, that is a Christian area. More of this central area. Up top is more Muslim. In Europe and Russia, we have Christians. Down here, even some parts, we have Australia, New Zealand, Guinea. Christianity is the #1 religion in the world. Okay? There's around 2 billion followers. So there's 7-8 billion people on the planet. A fourth of them would be Christians. Okay? A big, big number of Christians. So going into that, we will talk about some Muslims. Okay? Let's talk about Muslims. So Muslims are located in the Middle East. Anything you need to know if the Muslims or Islam, the religion of Islam, has an M in it. So going back with Jews, they worship in a synagogue. Going to Christians, they worship in a church. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre is the place in which Jesus rose from heaven after resurrection. And for Jews, they do the Wailing Wall or the Western Wall where they go and pray. For Muslims, their holy cities are Mecca and Medina. And on a map, Mecca and Medina are located in Saudi Arabia, which is this giant country here. Mecca and Medina are the 2 M countries of Islam. They're very prominent. They are very popular. And they are crucial to the faith. They have 5 pillars of Islam known as the minarets. If you look at a Muslim church, you'll see 5 pillars. You'll see 4 around it and the dome at the top of the church. That represents Christianity, or not Christianity, my apologies. It represents the 5 pillars of the faith. First pillar, or you can look at the pillars in any way or any number, is pilgrimage. And once in your life, if you're able to, without material wealth, meaning if you're too poor or if you're disabled, you need to do a pilgrimage to Mecca, which you guys probably watched on our My Life, My Religion video. Next, you have to fast during the month of Ramadan. You do not eat. You can only eat after dusk until dawn. You cannot eat during the day or drink, so it's very crucial. And in the desert, it's very dangerous to do that. You have fasting, you have pilgrimage, you have declaration of faith. Same thing we have in Christianity. When we get baptized and we say Jesus is the Son of God, and we accept him on the terms of the gospel, that is what Muslims are saying about Muhammad. They declare Muhammad as their prophet. Okay? And they kind of see, and Muhammad was a warrior. Muhammad's point of view is a little bit different. So he is seen as a warrior. So some people that might have been following the Old Testament took him as their warrior. Okay, they agree that Jesus was a great prophet. Mary's actually one of the only women in the Quran. Very, very popular religion. It's the second most popular in the world. Another pillar of Islam is charity. In Christianity, we have tithing, where you're supposed to give 10% of your wealth to the church. Their point of view is it's not optional. You must give 10% for charity, the well-being of those around you. Muhammad actually comes up with one of these ideas of social security. It's just not optional. You have to do it to take care of your elders and your sick and your old and your disabled and your children in orphanages. Very great idea, and it's very enforced in Christianity or in Islam today. My apologies. All right, for our other ones, prayer. You must face Mecca 5 times a day. So if you're in the west, you're gonna have to aim east. If you're in the east, you're gonna have to aim west. No matter what, your prayer rug must be pointing towards Mecca. That is not optional. Okay, their holy book is the Quran, and you must learn to read it in Arabic to be considered a good Muslim. Let's see, and those are your 5 pillars. Holy cities are Mecca, Medina, and the prophet is Muhammad. They are also monotheistic. If you see an M on a test and you do not know what it is, those are your guys, okay? Going to Islam on the map. Let's look at our map here. Islam is pretty much located in this entire region. We look at the Middle East, the middle of the world. Not really Europe here. They're in Greece and the Balkan states. But really, for the most part, they are located Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Egypt, Morocco, this little center area of the world, because that's where the Muslim empires were. The Ottomans, the Caliphs, the Moroccans, the Moors, all sorts of different little groups have came and gone there from that point. And second biggest religion in the world, okay? So for our next video, we're going to talk very quickly about Buddhism, and we're going to talk about Hinduism.